Coming to the lesson of the antenatal care, preconceptional counseling and care. So, what is the definition of the antenatal care, or also called as the prenatal care? Antenatal care is the systematic supervision through proper history taking, which is obstetrical as well as general history taking, examination of the patient, and giving proper advice to the pregnant woman. This antenatal care will start right before the pregnancy time and it will end at the delivery time. The aims and objectives of this prenatal care is to detect any high risk cases in the pregnancy, and to detect any kind of complication that might have arose during the pregnancy or due to some congenital anomalies, and to provide primary health care for that. And a third one is to educate the mother about the pregnancy and the puerperial period through the mother craft classes, which includes the various diagrams and charts to explain the mother. And fourth one will be to tell her about the place, time, and mode of delivery she has to undergo. And finally, the to motivate her for the family planning. Coming to the next thing, that is a normal pregnancy, also called as the eutosia. There are many criteria for the pregnancy to be considered as normal. First thing is that it should be a singleton pregnancy, that is it should have a single baby, it should be through the vaginal delivery, it should have happened through minimal aids of during the labor process, it should have happened at term, and there should have been no harm or no injury or no discomfort, or I can say no harm or injury to the mother or to the fetus. It should be the fetus should have healthy weight of greater than 2.5 kg. Dystocia is any alteration from the normal pregnancy is called as dystocia. So, some of the basic terminologies used during the history taking are the gravida. The term gravida means the number of pregnancies, including the present one, irrespective of the onset and the gestational period. Elderly primigravida is try to understand this term. Elderly means a person who has crossed the age of 30. Primi means first time, and gravida means first pregnant. That means that pregnant woman who has been first time pregnant after the age of 30 years. Coming to the para, or also called as the parity, it is the number of pregnancies excluding the present one, but including the gestation period that have crossed beyond the period of viability. In India, the period of viability is greater than 28 weeks. And grand multipara is that woman who has given four minimum of four childbirths. Abortion is the expulsion of the products of conception, that is the fetus and the fetal membranes and the placenta, before the period of viability. It can be of two types: either it can be a spontaneous abortion, or it can be induced abortion. It can also be classified as a complete, incomplete, inverted type also. Parturient is a woman in labor, while puerpera is the woman after the delivery. And the period of gestation in weeks. Remember that while writing the period of gestation, it should be written in terms of weeks, and it should be written only in terms of completed weeks. For example, if the period of gestation is exactly 37 weeks 3 days, then it should be written as 37 completed weeks. Or else if the period of gestation is 37 weeks 5 days, it should be written as 38 completed weeks. Therefore, we can consider that if the days, if it is greater than 3 days, it will be considered to be as one completed week. For example, if you consider that a woman has undergone two abortions and one is alive, then her obstetric score can be written as G4 P1 A2 L1. G indicates gravida, P is parity, and A is alive, and A is not alive, A is aborted, and L is alive. The minimum spacing between the two deliveries should be at least 2 years. Coming to that, some other important terminologies like the nullipara and nulligravida, and para and primigravida, multigravida and multipara, parturient as well as purpura. Nullipara, nulli means no, and para means is the woman who has never completed a pregnancy to the stage of viability. That means she might have been pregnant, but she might have aborted as a result of it. She must never have completed the pregnancy to the stage of viability, while a nulli gravida is the one who has who is not now and never has been pregnant. And coming to the primipara is one who has delivered one viable child. Parity is not increased even if the fetuses are many. Remember that the para and gravida are related not to the babies, but it is referring to the pregnancies. As such, a woman who delivers two twins in first pregnancy is still gravida 1 and para 1. This is important point you need to remember. Okay, in case of the in vitro fertilization in pregnancy, the last menstrual period will be calculated to be by adding 266 days to the LMP, which is 14 days prior to the embryo transfer. Okay, coming to the next, some important points like the physiological edema, which is caused due to the preeclampsia condition or pregnancy-induced hypertension, and there is usually ankle edema takes place here, and it will be confined to one leg, and it will be usually to the right leg because of the compression of the right iliac vein, and this disappears only on resting. Coming to the pulse and BP, in order to record the BP, DBP particularly, the Korotkov 5, that is disappearance of sounds, is best for the DBP rather than stopping at the rather than recording at the Korotkov 4, which is a muffling sound. Adnexa is any mass felt through the fornix of the vagina is called as the adnexa. Ultrasounds, uses of ultrasound at different terms will be the following. And the first thing is that the at the first term the ultrasound will be used for detection of the confirming the pregnancy, as well as for confirming the dating scan, as well as to find out the number of fetuses as well as fetal anomalies if there are present. Any adnexal or uterine pathology can also be confirmed by this. It can help in measurement of various lengths like the crown rump length, as well as biparietal diameter, etc. Coming to the booking scan will be done at the 18 to 20 weeks, and this will help in determining the fetal anatomy survey. It helps in, as well as in the placental localization also. Coming to the procedure at subsequent antenatal visits, a person is said to be booked if she has attended the antenatal regular antenatal checkups, like up to 28 weeks. She should have to undergo a minimum of antenatal checkups at least for 4 weeks. Once she has to visit for the antenatal checkup, in the period of 28 to 36 weeks, she should visit at least once in a fortnight for the antenatal checkup. In a period of 36 to 40 weeks, she should visit at least for once in a week, at least. In case of developed countries, who recommend that there should be at least 4 visits. First visit should be at 16th week, second visit at 24th to 28th week, and the third visit might be at the 32nd week, and fourth visit at the 36th week. This is the very important four visits that are extremely important to check for the any complication or high risk pregnancies if it has arose during the pregnancy. Remember that the first trimester will be starting from first week till the 12th week, and the second trimester is from 23 to I mean 13 to 28 weeks, while the third trimester will be from 29 to 40 weeks. Coming to some of the warning signs where the person will be asked to admit, and these are very very important signs. You need to question about this. Okay, so first is about if the person, if the patient complains of headache or with visual changes, she needs to get admitted. If there is fever or rashes and rigor or excess vomiting or diarrhea, she should get admitted. If there is abdominal pain which is distressing in nature, which is a little bit abnormal, then you need to admit the patient. If there is decrease or no fetal movements at all, then the patient needs to be admitted, because it tells that the fetus is not in a good condition. If there is any leak PV or bleeding PV also at an abnormal time, then also the patient needs to be admitted. Some minor ailments of pregnancy include the headache, vomiting, nausea, thialism, CTS, that is carpal tunnel syndrome, heartburn and acidity, backache, which is due to the lumbar lordosis, as well as constipation and bladder problems, muscle cramps, varicosities, superficial varicosities, pedal edema, especially of the ankle edema, and vaginal discharges.